Muli Shani Bonse, welcome back to my channel and welcome if it's your first time here. My name is Thembi Fletcher and today I am going to take you back into the hairstyles and makeup looks for the essences. We're going to be looking at the angelic essence, the very ethereal, very otherworldly essence. And I would like to just give you some ideas and maybe a few tips on how you can maximize your aura and your essence blend, especially if the angelic essence is your dominant essence. And so make sure you like this video before we even get started, and also subscribe if you haven't already done so, and let's get right into it. So for you, right off the bat, most of you probably know that you look amazing in shimmery type of makeup. So it could be glitter, it could be sparkles, anything that will give you more of that luminescent type of finish. We want you to illuminate or glow from within. So anything that is quite glowy, gives a glowy, luminescent type of finish, is going to look really good on you. Of course, depending on how much makeup you wear on a daily basis, you can either go for more or you can go for a little less. So you can go for more of a natural look. When we're talking about everyday makeup looks, a lot of people usually don't wear heavy makeup on a daily basis. So you could just keep it as subtle as you want to. Of course, I would prefer to see shimmery eyeshadow or anything like highlighter on your brow bone and on your cheekbones, or even bronzer on you. But if you happen to prefer matte looks, then you can definitely go for a matte finish as well. And I would recommend that you go with your seasonal color rather than just trying out any color in matte finishes. For warmer tones, let's say if you have a warmer undertone, I think that colors like gold or bronze or browns are really good for everyday makeup looks. Those will look really good. And then for gold, we're not talking about the really gaudy makeup golden look. It could just be something really subtle. So something that's a little bit on the bronzier side is going to look fantastic on you. And then if you're cooler, you can maybe go for grays. But for the most part, I do believe that matte finishes look better on women who have cooler undertones than on those who have warmer undertones. Personally, as a spring, I think that you can definitely get away with a lot of shimmery looks even during the day. And so if you happen to fall in the spring color season, then feel free to experiment with more shimmery or glittery finishes. I think you're going to look really amazing. And it's really up to you what it is that you're comfortable with. You can definitely add some blush. If you don't want to do that, I think just using your eyeshadow palette. So let's say if you go for like a golden finish or golden eye makeup look, you can transfer it onto your cheekbones and maybe even on your nose, like on the tip of your nose, and that will come out looking really, really amazing. Of course, mascara is a must for any essence. I think it just helps to open up your eyes. And so for you, I would recommend that you definitely go with the type of eyeshadow look that you are using. If you want something colored, like let's say you use blue eyeshadow, then try out some blue mascara. I think that would look really fantastic on you as Ethereal. That's something that you can definitely get away with. Personally, I do think that colored eyeliner, yes, as well, and colored mascara looks really amazing on you Ethereals. For lipsticks, I would recommend that you go with something that's a little bit more nude. Of course, depending on the occasion, you can definitely wear whatever color you'd like. But I've noticed that a lot of Ethereals prefer not to overdo it when it comes to makeup. So you're not going to be putting on heavy layers like the romantic, for instance, because you're just more of that. Because for one, your contrast is pretty low. and so you definitely don't want too much contrast when it comes to your makeup looks as well. But for special occasions, you can definitely put on a red lip. You can put on maybe a plum lip if you have cool undertones, and yeah, you're good to go. So that is that for makeup. I don't think there's too much else that I can share with you. And then of course, one more thing that I forgot to mention is you can go a little bit more eccentric or a little bit more edgy, but this all depends on the occasion. If you're going to a wedding and you'd like to maybe go with a themed makeup look, I was thinking for you, trying out like mermaid looks, mermaid themed makeup looks would look really beautiful on an ethereal. Also maybe something like a fairy type of themed makeup look would look good on you as well. Anything to do with fairies, or maybe a Grecian goddess, like those mythical Grecian goddess makeup looks would look really beautiful on you. And so I would probably stick to themed makeup for special occasions, and I think that you would look absolutely breathtaking. Now for hair in itself is also very personal, and I'm not the type of person who wants to dictate to anyone about how they should wear their hair or what type of hairstyles they need to try, but I definitely do have some recommendations if you're interested in trying them. Of course, as ethereals, you have a lot of different hair textures. Some of you have straight hair, others have wavy, you have curly, some of you have curly hair, some of you have a mixture of curly and coily, and so on and so forth. So I think that it is definitely up to you for the most part, but I do think that ethereals look really amazing in more, let's say if you have straight hair, you can definitely go for straight hair, but to just make it a little bit more interesting, maybe try more of a wavier look. So I think something that kind of looks like water waves is going to look fantastic on you. For curly hair, there's so many different hairstyles that you can work with. You can go with an updo, and then you have some flyaways, maybe in front and in the back, just to kind of make it feel a little bit more natural and earthy and maybe even ethereal. I think that that would look really beautiful. Then of course you can also do some braids. I think those would look amazing. Cornrows especially look amazing on ethereals, and the cornrows that I'm thinking of are the ones that have the beading at the bottom. I've seen so many beautiful women on Pinterest who have some ethereal essence, in my opinion, really pulling those beautiful hairstyles off. And of course, I'm a huge advocate of wearing your natural hair, and so that is definitely one direction that will help you to pull off those beautiful goddess type of looks. And it also makes it feel a lot more traditional. The cornrows are definitely Afrocentric hairstyles, and so feel free to flaunt them. I think that you're going to look really beautiful and just breathtaking. And then of course, I was thinking if you have some natural essence, I would try maybe an afro, but because of your ethereal essence, I would say try to style it a little bit more. So instead of just going with the full-on afro puff look, not afro puff, but just full-on afro, you could maybe sleek it back on one side and then have it just like flowing everywhere, you know, have it as big and poofy as possible, but just to tame it a little bit. And that's not in a negative way. I just think having a full-on afro could be a little bit overwhelming on someone with angelic essence. So it's just good to kind of style it a little bit. You could add some bobby pins in there, or you could tie it up on one side. You could definitely work around it, but I think it's just best if it's an intentional hairstyle versus just leaving it wild and free. I think that looks a lot better on women who have natural essence as their dominant essence. And then what else was I thinking for you? You can definitely also add beading as accessories in your hair. You could do the pearls. I think those would look amazing on you. You can also do afro puffs if you actually like afros as well, and those would look amazing. You can go for more of like the goddess type of hairstyles. Even goddess braids would look amazing on you as ethereals. And what else am I thinking? I would keep it more on the natural side, and not to say it needs to be wild, but I think that just having either braids or locks or twists or bantu knots, stuff like that would look really amazing on you, especially if you have Afrocentric features or Afrocentric hair. That would look really fantastic. And then yes, you can go for like a sleek back type of ponytail. It needs to be styled, but it needs to feel like you didn't try too hard, so to speak. I don't know if that makes sense. But all in all, it's really up to you. There's so many options that you can go for. And of course, I wanted to make sure that I gave you as many images for inspiration as possible. And that is that. That is everything that I had to share with you. Ultimately, I hope that these videos are just helping you to really take more risks when it comes to your personal style, and when it comes to fully embracing your essences, you know, your essence blends. I think it's important to just lean into what truly works for you, and that's the only way that you'll be able to truly feel authentic and just feel amazing in your own skin. And so that is that. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Next time, my next styling video is going to be the theatrical romantic. So if you haven't seen the Kibbe romantic video, I'm going to have it linked down below. Make sure that you check that one out. And then we're also going to continue with hairstyles and makeup looks for more essences. So I hope that you will continue to support me, and I'd like to thank you in advance, and I hope to see you all in the next one. God bless. Bye. Bye everyone.